another where the anti-French thing comes in. Anyway, this story that Luke's on about, we were we had to then defend England because the German invasion was definitely imminent. It was definitely on. It was before he decided to go further east and go into Russia. He was going to get rid of the rest of Europe, and the rest of Europe included England.
Yeah.
And we were stationed on the south coast of England, a place called Chelsea. I don't know you know the south coast at all.
Not too well.
But there's a thing called Chelsea Bill which sort of juts out into the sea a bit, and then you come round this jut, and then there's a long, enormous flat beach for miles and miles, which is the Chelsea beaches. And we were my unit was stationed there, and at that time I was a section commander, I think a lance corporal, I think.
How old were you?
Eh?
How old were you?
Well, I had my
You were 21.
21st
You were
birthday
21.
there. Because I was 20 when I went to France, you know, and I was 21 at my 21st birthday. Auntie Annie came down and bought me a birthday cake and God knows what, you know, because we were allowed visitors, but eventually they closed the beaches off and nobody was allowed on the beaches then. Anyway, the Battle of Britain was on, which was Battle of Britain was fought in the air, you know, the RAF, they did a wonderful job, and all around us, the main fighter airport right by us was Tangmere, which is right by Chichester, just back from Chichester, and most of our Spitfires and Hurricanes were stationed there. Anyway, this particular day we were warned that there was a hell of a lot of German aircraft activity all around us, as there was, you know, bombing all German bombs all along the south coast. We had 1 or 2 bombs quite near us, but nothing actually in our area. And then we suddenly, I must tell you, we had, after Dunkirk, we were an army virtually with terrible weapons. I mean, most of the stuff was left in France, and all we had was rifles that were old-fashioned, still some First World War rifles, and 1 Bren gun, which was a light machine gun for each section. So what we had to do was we had to set the Bren gun up on what the army called fixed lines. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but the Bren gun has a wonderful arc of fire. You know, you can aim it, say, at a direct target, but the arc of fire will be X number of degrees sweeping left and right of that actual target. You know, so you've really got to know how to use the Bren gun. It's quite an art on its own. Anyway, we set our Bren gun up on these fixed lines, and what I did, everybody had to take their turn on manning this Bren gun, in case, because you know we'd had German barges and that sort of thing that had been washed ashore, not with men in them. The men had been knocked out by our aircraft.
Okay.
Anyway, this particular day, we had a Dornier, which is a very efficient fighter bomber, and it carried a crew of two, and it had been injured by one of our pilots somewhere away above us, and it was making a false landing, and it false landed right on my section of beach. It landed right in front of us, and it landed virtually right in front of this Bren gun, which was being managed by this Jewish boy who had all this knowledge of what Hitler was doing to the Jews, Jewish population, you know. And the German crew, two airmen, rather lumberly got out of their aircraft, jumped down onto the beach, onto the sand, and this boy of mine just let them have it.
Oh wow.
Killed them, stone dead, both of them.
Oh.
He emptied a whole magazine, which is about 28 rounds, I think it was. It was a solid magazine, half circular magazine. And he emptied the whole round, the whole magazine on them, and they were stone dead.
Hmm.
So, of course, that was something that was not allowed. I mean, if they were alive, then they should have been taken prisoner. So poor old Willing, he was arrested, military arrested, court-martialed, and never saw him again.
You weren't allowed to kill them?
No.